Hello there folks, welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash and I'm your host on this journey through men's style, self-development and personal grooming. And today I'm going to pose a bit of a question. And that's a question about one of our favourite fictional, sartorially most elegant men. He's been a style icon for many of us over the years, and that's James Bond. And the question I'm going to pose, and I'm going to unpack it a little bit, is why does James Bond always wear a suit, or if not necessarily a suit of any kind? Why is he always dressed up to the nines, looking absolutely dapper sharp, when in reality, even in our modern era, right, when we've seen Bond over the last sort of iteration of the last characterization by Daniel Craig, the world has become increasingly casual, to the point that people rarely get dressed up for any sort of special occasion these days. Yet, when we encounter James Bond on the big screen, whatever he's doing, whether he is infiltrating a global organised crime group, whether he's undercover in a casino, whether he's taking part in some dynamic on-screen activity, running, fighting, shooting, driving a boat even down the River Thames on some occasions, he's often depicted certainly wearing a fine Savile Row. Well, actually, it's not Savile Row, is it? It's Tom Ford these days. But he's always the epitome of the exquisitely dressed and tailored gentleman. So why does he do that? What benefits does being the smartest secret agent in the world bring James Bond? And actually, if there are benefits from it, what can we learn from it for our ordinary everyday lives? Because if James Bond's getting some advantages out of being a dapper chap, I wouldn't mind getting in on that as well. So can I dress well? And hence why I'm rather smartly attired in my own James Bond outfit today. But why is it that James Bond does that? And I think the truth of the matter is there is no accident to the fact that James Bond is not only depicted as a dapper fellow, but why any person in his role would likely do the same, because there are so many advantages to being an intentionally well-dressed man, as undoubtedly James Bond is in the world today. It's worth us thinking about it. So the first thing I would say is authority and presence comes your way if, like James Bond, you choose to dress well, because make no mistake about it, wearing a well-tailored suit in the modern world today is akin to having a minor superpower. It almost feels, and I'm in the habit of dressing fairly well, not like this obviously. I will wear a tweed jacket. It's October, I'm going to be wearing a tweed jacket as I go about my ordinary life. I will often wear a shirt with a tie, a curated outfit, intentionally well dressed, as I like to say. I'll be probably wearing chinos. I'll undoubtedly, if I'm wearing boots or shoes, they will have a damn good shine on them. And I can tell you now, it is akin to a minor superpower, because as I go through life, doors open for me. People address me in a different way. They will call me sir. They won't call me buddy or pal or mate or whatever the local sort of terminology will be for somebody you don't really know. When you're a well-dressed chap, there is definitely an authority about you. People listen to what you have to say. They treat you differently. And I can imagine that being James Bond, or any person in the Secret Intelligence Service who, in the course of their mission, would be desirous of influencing other people to do things for them, to let you past the door which is locked to other people, to talk your way into a part of a ship or a building that would be hard to achieve if you're wearing sweatpants, Crocs and a sweatshirt. If you're dressed in a suit or a sports jacket, people immediately defer to you because you're probably going to be better dressed than them. And there is something in the human brain which says well-dressed people are bosses. They are successful. They have authority and the presence works for them. And that's going to help James Bond in the same way as it's going to help you in life. Now, the next reason I think Bond is prone to wearing what I would, most commonly we see him wearing maybe a two-piece, notch lapel, two-button suit. And why does he wear that? Absolute versatility. flexibility personified. Because a suit like that, worn with a white shirt and tie, right? So shall we say a grey or navy suit, white shirt, tie, do you know what? You can pretty much walk your way or talk your way into any situation. You can walk your way into a wedding, you can go into a corporate building where there are people working, you could go into formal situations, you could cross the boundaries into situations which are perhaps less formal. So whatever is thrown at the direction of James Bond, having that suit on allows him to straddle the boundaries of being appropriately dressed for just about anything. Has to go for the races this afternoon, that's fine, I can go there. If I need to go to one of the corporate boxes, right, which is off limits to normal punters, you can talk your way in by saying, oh, I've left my pass downstairs, sorry, I'll just pop up, see the boss, and I'll be right out in a minute. Because you're wearing a suit, you are so much more credible to anybody who's controlling entry. So your versatility in any situation, from formal to informal, that's what James Bond benefits from by wearing that suit, which is kind of a catch-all for any situation you'll encounter. And finally, I think we can't walk away from the fact that there is a psychological edge to wearing nice clothes as well. Whether you're, I mean, clearly not a dinner jacket, but if you're wearing that James Bond suit, which we see him wearing so many times, that Glen check suit worn by Sean Connery, three-piece suit in Goldfinger, wow, it's become an icon of the men's style world. Can you imagine the personal confidence that wearing a garment like that imbues the wearer with? Because you know, you look super sharp. Whatever situation you walk into, people are going to look at you and think, wow, here's a man who means business. And of course that has an impact on you on the inside. You know, we know the science, it's called enclothed cognition, and it means when you put good clothes on, you feel stronger, you feel more capable, more able to deal with situations. And to a degree, it works in a negative impact on your adversaries, because they are looking at you thinking, here's a guy who's dressed better than me, basically. And you're already putting yourself into a lower position in the hierarchy before anything else happens. So without a doubt, amongst all the other advantages, there is the psychological benefit to dressing well, which enhances the opportunities for James Bond just the same as it does for us. So how can we as ordinary guys, we're not MI6 agents, how can we benefit from what James Bond shows us, demonstrates to us on the big screen over these 60 plus years of the movie franchise? Well, the first thing I'm going to say is that when you are intending to be an intentionally well-dressed man, just like James Bond, the first thing you want to do is invest in the fit above all else of your clothing. Because the reason why James Bond looks great in his suits, it's not because purely the suits are expensive, because undoubtedly they are, but it's because they fit him well. Because even a modestly priced suit, or dare I even say it, a cheap suit, will look good on a man if it is tailored to fit him. Now, it also helps if you've got a good physique under that suit, because if the body is good, the suit that's draped over it is going to make it look better. But you can mitigate the fact that maybe you don't have a great body, like most of us don't really, if your suit fits well. So take it to a tailor. Little things like having the arm length tailored so that you just get that little view of your shirt sleeve. The break of your trousers, when the trousers fit properly and the material is not pooling around your shoes because it's too long, or it's halfway up your ankle because it's too short. It just makes you look like a more rounded, polished individual. And if your jacket is too big or too small, the tailor can nip it in at the waist, make you look broader at the shoulders. Tailors are magic makers for the gentleman's apparel. So do what Bond does. Get your suits tailored well, and they will make you look like that MI6 agent, and doors will fly open for you. Now, the next little tip which I've gained from James Bond is that he keeps his colours classic and simple. You'll notice James Bond, he rarely experiments with bright, garish, primary colours. He sticks to what he knows works well. It's the greys, it's the blues, particularly the darker blues, or blacks and whites. These colours are never in or out of fashion, they are always consistently what men wear to look their very best. So if it comes to a suit, if you have to buy only one suit in your life, right, grey or navy blue is the choice that you want to make. When it comes to your shirt colours, right, I'd stay away from the bright Bengal stripes or plaid patterns. White or light blue, or if you want to be really on the edge, maybe even a subtle pink colour. That's what you'll find goes with everything. Ties, stay away from bright garish ties, simple block colours or with like a regimental stripe, as James Bond has worn many, many times in his movies. When it comes to your footwear, stick with black, darker browns or even burgundy. They go with everything. They are timeless, they are classic, they are elegant, they're not garish, they're never going to make you stand out in a crowd for the wrong reason. Oh, you know, I saw a guy, yeah, that guy over there, the one wearing, you know, the green trousers. It's too obvious. Stick to the simple, elegant classics and you're always just going to be noticed because you look sharp. Now, my final little tip for you, which I think James Bond has exemplified for us in every one of his movies, is dress with purpose, not just for an occasion. Because you don't have to wait for weddings, for funerals, for court appearances, or high days and holidays to bring your suit out to wear it, because that suit makes you feel great, makes you look great, people treat you differently, you are versatile in all that you do, and all of the things that we've just talked about come your way when you're wearing that suit. So why are you only wearing that suit for very, very tiny occasions in your life? Wear it as often and as frequently as you can. If nothing else, you will get more value for money out of these items, which you've probably paid proportionately more for than other items in your wardrobe. So your lovely shoes, your beautiful tweed sports jacket, your nice tie, your shirts, all those other beautiful accessories as well. Don't squirrel them away in the back of the wardrobe, never to be worn. Save the best till last. Not at all. Wear them as often as you can in every viable opportunity in life. Because believe me, when you're standing next to the guy who's wearing Crocs, sweatpants and a sweatshirt, you will shine like a diamond in that dark mine full of other dark stones. You be the one who takes advantage of what James Bond has taught us and dress with purpose, not just for those special occasions. So there we go. James Bond has taught us a lot over the years. For many of us chaps who've been brought up with Bond and the many various actors who've played him, he's been like this uncle to us, who's passed on this sartorial advice when perhaps our own fathers and others who are just getting on with life, they don't have the opportunity, or we don't see them dressing well all that often. But Bond has been the pioneer. He's taught us what we can be. And I've given you some ideas today to take advantage of the lessons that he has put out there. Grab them, take advantage of them, and dress well. Maybe not necessarily in a dinner jacket every day, but when the opportunity presents itself, grab it and enjoy it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like it, click that thumb up button if you have, and subscribe if you'd like to see more like this. And ask me a question. I'd love to hear your questions on James Bond, because I feel we're on the cusp of a new Bond arriving quite soon. And it would be lovely to get ahead of that by having some chats here on our favourite sartorial gentleman. Don't forget as well, if you would like to join me on my journey to Chap Nirvana, you can become one of my patrons. Links in the show notes below. Extra videos every week exclusively for my patrons. I'd love to have you along. So, my fellow spies, until the next time we meet, take care, and I'll see you soon. And yes, that was a naval salute in recognition of Commander James Bond.